never have enough muslin cloths. After I finish filming this, this is going in the bin because on close inspection, it's kind of grim. I hope you're not eating your dinner right now. My nipples were wrecked. One of my top tips that I give to anybody who is having a baby. Hello everybody. So for today's video, I wanted to sit down. Oh, Nala wanted to sit down too apparently. And do a little newborn favourites and things I will 1010% be using for baby number 2. So I never made one of these videos with Otti, and I think part of the reason for that was that I constantly felt like I was trying and buying new things all the time. But I do feel like now is a really good time for me to sit down and do this because I'm actually really thinking about the things I still have that I've kept that I know for sure I definitely want to use with this baby, which I think is a really true indication of the fact that looking back, these really were some of mine or Otti's favourite things that I'm hoping will also be the new baby's favourite things as well. I do just want to throw in a little disclaimer before I get into the video that absolutely none of this is essential. I don't want anybody watching this to feel like they have to buy any of this stuff or that in order to be the most amazing parent ever, you need all of this under your belt. These are purely things that worked for me and worked for Otti. They very well might not work for this baby, but I do find videos like this really helpful, and so I figured you also might find it helpful. Equally, don't ever feel obliged to get any of this. Every baby is different, every household is different, and these are just things that I loved and will be reusing. There is a combination of things that I liked for me and things that I used for Otti. Some things I have with me that I've managed to dig out, some things I don't, or I haven't found them yet, or there's just nothing like tangible to show you. Sorry if you can hear Nala snoring in the background. Starting off with an absolute no-brainer, muslins. I used so many of these. They came in so handy. I actually really loved the slightly larger swaddle muslins because they were great for like if you wanted a bit more discretion when you were feeding out and about, if you wanted to place it in the base of the pram, if you wanted to place it on the bottom of a changing mat, if you were out in public and you were using a changing table and you just weren't sure whether it was clean or it had just been used. These big ones are amazing. Also great for like wrapping them up, throwing over your shoulder. So the swaddle muslin cloths, I absolutely loved this kind of like slightly bigger size. And then the slightly smaller, just kind of more average sized muslin cloths. These two were from, this one is from Clementine Kids and this one is a Lywood one, but they've all washed really well. They're still in great condition. I will for sure be using those with baby number 2. And I do feel like it's true what they say, you can never have enough muslin cloths. They're just so useful for everything. The second thing that I will definitely be using with the second baby is zip up sleep suits, especially because we are having a winter newborn, so she will most likely be in a vest and a sleep suit on top, and you just want the least amount of faff possible when you are getting up in the middle of the night to change a nappy. So these are the Maury sleep suits. These are actually in a little bit of a bigger size, but these were Otti's. And they're just such lovely quality. I mean, this could literally be brand new. Oh my God, it still smells like baby Otti. Oh my God. Zip up, feet in. Most of them have the little mitt turnovers at the ends. So Maury are probably, I would say, my go-to for a zip up sleep suit. Also, as I said in my previous video, I have these ones from Pure Baby. I've never used these ones before, but they look really soft, really lovely. And I also really love the ones from Zipster Baby. I couldn't find any of those. I've obviously got them buried somewhere from Otti's like previous clothes stash. But Zipster Baby also do really lovely ones. They're made from like bamboo, so they're like a little thinner and like very, very soft. But those are up there Those, and also Rosa and Blue, they do some amazing ones too. Zip up Sleepsuits are what we will be putting our baby to bed in, for sure. Don't get me wrong, we'll do the occasional cute popper, but for ease and practicality, a zip up just is like next level. Moving a little more into toiletries and things for Ottie that Alfie and I were like, oh my God, these things are a lifesaver, and things that we kept in every nappy caddy. So I think we had 2 nappy caddies and we had a changing station in our bedroom. Nappy caddy is also one of my essentials. I will get onto that in a minute. But the more like toiletry side of things, newborns are a bit stuffy, and no one had really told me this, and they get some like crusty boogers up their nose, but their nostrils are impossibly tiny. So you could see a booger that is blocking an entire nostril, and you're like, how am I meant to get that out? And I saw this on Amazon. I will order a new one for the new baby, although to be fair, I could probably just like disinfect this and it would be fine. This is called an oogle bear, and this is a newborn teeny tiny booger hook. Essentially, I discovered this and I basically told everybody who had a newborn they needed this in their kit, because when I tell you, when a newborn has a tiny, like a bogey up their nose, they can't breathe because the bogey's big, their nostrils are tiny, they've already just been through birth, their airways are a little bit crusty, and you can't get that bogey out. You can't use a finger, your fingers are too big, your nails are too big, everything is too big. Even these things, too big. Like, everything just felt too big. Whether Ottie just had teeny tiny nostrils, I don't know. And then I saw this on Amazon and I was like, I mean, I'll give it a go. It's just a tiny little like flexible silicone hook. And this thing cleared many a nostril so quick, and it was just, I think at one point we had like 3 of these on the go. There was one in the bag that came out with us, there was one in each nappy caddy, there was one in the bedroom. We had them everywhere because it was the only thing that really worked. And actually, she was fine letting us do it up to a certain age, and then she was like, okay guys, sod off, like get off my nostrils. But for newborns, this is fantastic. Highly, highly recommend. I literally tell all my friends who are having babies to buy one of these. The next thing, when I heard people talk about these, I was like, there is no way I am ever buying one of those. That sounds absolutely grim. A nose sucker. I don't even know why I still have this. We don't use this anymore, obviously. Ottie blows her nose. But a nose snucker. So I think this is the Snuffle Baby. Snuffle Baby, is that the brand? I'll leave links below to everything I mentioned, by the way. So do check the description box once you finished watching the video. This, I am gonna throw this away. This is Ottie's old one. I'm kind of glad I kept it because now I can show it in this video, but after I finish filming this, this is going in the bin because on close inspection, it's kind of grim. This is essential for unblocking a baby's nose. If it's really snotty, I would say like this is good for a crusty booger. This is good for unblocking. Oh, is that you? Bloody hell, you scared me.
Sorry.
And I was like, wait, no, that's grim. How does this even work? You put this in your mouth, you put this to their nostril. There is a filter, panic not. There is a filter, nothing can get into your mouth. It's the only way that we found was actually really good at unblocking Ottie's nose. So again, I will be ordering a new one of these and it will go in nappy caddies and upstairs in the bedroom. Another thing that we used a lot was the Sterimar Breathe Easy Baby from birth, 100% natural, micro diffused seawater. So again, if there's a bit of a blocked nose situation, one little spray up the nostril and then Snot City. This is actually pretty grim. I hope you're not eating your dinner right now. Still sticking in the kind of toiletries category, I guess. This nail file, genius, absolutely genius. I saw so many people talk about this and I was like, I mean, it looks like something you'd get free with a magazine, I'm not gonna lie, but it's so much easier to use this on tiny baby's nails. There was no way I was gonna trust myself to get near her tiny like flicky hand with nail clippers. It just terrified me slightly. But this nail file has different attachments with different hardness and softness and different speeds, and we used this a lot, and I will be reusing this with the new baby. Moving on to me and my nipples. So I breastfed Ottie, and I also expressed, and then we moved on to combi feeding. My nipples were wrecked. I didn't know beforehand what a cracked nipple actually entailed. I imagined it kind of like when you've got like cracked skin, like a little bit dry, a bit cracked. No, 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 no. A cracked nipple is imagining a nipple has cracked open like an egg, like cracked, craters through the nips. It's exceptionally sore, and I got cracked nipples big time, and I just wasn't quite prepared for that. And I do think pumping with this and using this combination right here is what saved my nipples. So I absolutely loved the LV pump for pumping. It was so comfortable. I loved that I could control the settings on my phone. I loved that I could pop it in my bra and just carry on with my day. It was super easy to clean and take apart and sterilize, and I absolutely loved it. So I am planning on using this again. I feel like they have one you can plug in now. Or did they have one you could plug in before? I'm not sure. I feel like they have a higher grade one than this, which I also might look into. I'm undecided, but I absolutely loved the LV. So planning on using that again, because again, I would really love to be able to express so that Alfie can feed the baby as well as me. Another thing was silver nipple cups. I wasn't really too sure what you did with these before I used them. I thought they were like nipple shields, and that you could put them on when you were feeding. And then when I got them out, I was like, hang on, there's no holes in these. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you do with these? You just put them on in your bra through the day, just on your nips as you're going about your day. And like any milk like collects in here, and it's like good and healing. And I mean, there's lots behind it that I now don't remember. But I just remember thinking at the time, my nipples need rescuing. And if these are gonna do anything, then I need to try them. And I genuinely think these were incredible. I think the combination of this and this saved my nipples. The reason I think the pump saved my nipples, I had one that was like worse than the other. So I would like put this on every time I needed to feed from like my broken boob. I would use the LV pump, and I would just put it on a really low setting. Ottie was a savagely strong sucker. And I felt like every time she was feeding on the boob that was really sore and painful, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. So after using this and putting it on a much lower setting, it enabled me to kind of get a little bit more healing time, and it basically saved my nips, that and this. So I will be using both of these the second time around. Okay, white noise. White noise, absolutely crucial. I don't think I could have a baby and not use white noise now. This came everywhere with us. This is the Hush. Lots of different settings, volume up, volume down. It went on her cot at night. It went on the pram, it went on the car seat. Again, I think we had one of these upstairs, one of these downstairs, one of these in the car. We loved it. We didn't go anywhere without it, and I would definitely use this again. Second thing that I absolutely love is, which I don't have because it's still in Ottie's room, is the Hatch Sleep. So it's kind of like looks like a light, but you can adjust it on your phone through an app. You can adjust the volume, you can adjust what kind of white noise plays through it, and you can also get like a lovely glowy light. And we really liked using this in our bedroom in those like really early days where we would be changing, because it meant that you could plug it in, keep the white noise going, but then also turn on a light and do a bit of changing and then turn the light off, and the white noise would keep going. It basically does like everything you need. So I will be ordering another of those to keep in the bedroom for the new baby. It's gonna be really weird getting used to sleeping with white noise again. Like I hadn't really thought about that, but it does take me right back to the day that Alfie and I, when we moved, the day we moved Ottie into her own room, and there was just silence, and we were like, oh my God. I feel like we had to adapt to not sleeping to the sound of white noise because we had got so used to it. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about going to sleep listening to white noise again, but if it helps my baby sleep, I think I'll do anything. Other tech, as I mentioned in my previous video, the Nanit. I absolutely love this camera. This is the Nanit Pro HD nursery camera with sleep tracking and breathing motion monitoring. We actually didn't use it for the breathing monitoring, we just used it for everything else, but I have just ordered myself a new one for the baby, and you can do like split screen with multiple kids and multiple cameras, which is really good. So I'm excited to get that all set up and start using it again. The other thing that I didn't know I needed, and definitely did need, was, and this is honestly, every time I use this, every time we go away, I'm like, this is just the best like £35 I think I've ever spent. So one of the first trips that we went away on with Ottie, I took my Nanit setup, and obviously the Nanit runs through Wi-Fi and through an app on your phone. And it hadn't really crossed my mind that when you go and stay at a hotel or you go and stay somewhere else, you can't generally connect something like this to an open Wi-Fi network or to like a hotel network because they deem that as quite unsafe, naturally. Hadn't considered it. So we went away and we had no way of knowing if Ottie was asleep or awake, or, you know, I couldn't just like look at my phone and see her, and I hated that a lot. I think in the end we managed to like set up a laptop that FaceTimed to a phone. I don't know what we did, but it was really stressful, and I was like, how do people get around this? I don't understand. Like, how does somebody go away and still use a baby monitor? They order one of these, a monitor that does not require Wi-Fi because it has its own connection within it. And this is by the brand Hello Baby. It's very basic, very easy. You literally plug both these things in. This one actually can charge, so you can take this around with you. And this has been an absolute lifesaver slash game changer whenever we've gone anywhere that has a Wi-Fi connection that you cannot connect the Nanit to, which is most places, if I'm honest. I don't know what we would do without it. So again, I need to order another one of these because if we are going away with both, we're gonna need more than one camera. Great quality, really wasn't that expensive, and like I said, you just plug in and go. There is nothing to set up, there's no apps, there's nothing. This sends a signal to this, and you're good. This was a big one to get out, but I did want to show you it. This is the Vital Baby Sterilizer. It's quite big. Actually, it's not too bad. It's decent size. It's a size that I like because we managed to get a lot of things in this. So with expressing meant we had bottles to clean, we had bottles to sterilize and dry, and we were doing the constant, you know, repeat, clean, repeat, sterilize, use, clean, repeat, repeat over and over. But also things like teethers, anything that kind of goes in the mouth, anything that gets dropped on the floor, sterilize. Especially in that first year, you get very, I feel like you get very paranoid about sterilizing. Will I be that paranoid this time? I feel like I need to read up again about what newborns require. I've kind of forgotten, I'm not gonna lie. I do remember that most things needed to be sterilized though. I loved this. Alfie and I kept this in the bedroom for any night feeds, or if I needed to pump. I could put all my pump parts in here as well. Obviously everything was first washed, and we used the Milton baby antibacterial wash with everything that we washed all by hand with that. And then when it was still wet, straight out of being washed, we would stack everything in here. And this has so many different settings. It has like just a UV sterilized setting. It has a dry and sterilized setting, which is the one we use most of the time. That's like 30 minutes to completely dry it and sterilize it. So then when you open it, everything is ready to go. You can put that bottle back together, you can pop your pump back together, and you're good to go. So this is coming back out so we can use that. Super easy to use, like I said. And I think, just to be honest, the fact that it dries everything just made life so much easier, because everything was just ready to go. Nappy caddies. So this for us was an absolute lifesaver. Love that you can carry it from room to room. I think we had one upstairs and one downstairs, and they're just great. Everything all in one place, super easy. Keep it next to the sofa, next to the changing mat, you're all good. So what we would keep in here was a couple of clean vests, a couple of clean sleep suits, nappies, wipes, nappy cream, things like this, the snot thing and the bogey thing. And what else would we keep in here? I'm trying to remember now. Muslin cloth. I think in the early days I also kept some breast pads and a spare nursing bra in case like mine got like wet and a bit grim, because they're always just, it's just nice to have everything in one place. So yeah, nappy caddies. I'm actually kind of excited to start filling those back up again. Another thing that we filled up, I do not have to show you, because it was essentially a big plastic box that I kept on my side of the bed. Alfie had one on his side of the bed, and this is, I also think, one of my top tips that I give to anybody who is having a baby. And it's something that can be so easily forgotten, but I feel like the reward for remembering to do it is so worth it. A snack box for when you get back from the hospital. For that first like week or so, those first couple of nights where you don't know what time it is, you don't know what day it is, you don't know how many times you've been woken up in the night, and you've got zero energy, especially for the person that has given birth. You do not have the energy for anything. So to have that snack box in the middle of the night, especially depending on the kind of birth you have, whether you're like mobile or not, it's just really good to have everything next to you that you could possibly need at any time of the day when you are in your bed. A couple of things I kept in mine: Lucozade Sport for energy, water. I would have my refillable water thing in there, and that would be constantly full of water, and I would always make sure it was. Any medication that you might have been sent home with or that you need to take, I kept mine in a little like medicine box, but that was in there because otherwise I would worry that I would forget to take my medication. I had my breast pump, my breast pads, clean nursing bras, muslin cloths, things like the silver nipple cups, and then a crap ton of my favorite snacks. There was crisps, there was cereal bars, there was energy bars, there was biscuits, sweets. You kind of have to predict that you could want anything at any time, especially if you are breastfeeding, because you just do get so thirsty and so hungry. So keeping stuff in that snack box, you don't want to be getting anything that's too fresh, because you don't want anything that's going to go off. This is like, it's 3 AM and I'm starving, what have I got in my box kind of thing. This isn't like waking up your partner and being like, I'm so sorry, can you go and cut me up an apple because I'm starving. This is like, you've got everything there that you could possibly need. Might not be the most nutritious, but it's good to eat. And Alfie also had one of these on his side. Obviously there was no like breast pads or nipple cream, but he did have a lot of snacks, water, drinks, all the other things. But then we also had like magazines, or like, I think I put my Kindle in there. Just anything I thought I might need at 3 AM, I put in this box. And it was not a small box, it was quite a big, sizable box, but it was the best thing I did before I went into hospital. That box was there like when the car seat was in the car. I was like, right, car seat in car, is the snack box next to the bed? Yes, yes it is. Okay, great, then this baby can come at any time. I'm ready. Make it like a fun thing to do. Go to the supermarket with your other half and like get a basket each and just be like, right, what do we want in our snack boxes? Anything that you think might keep you awake or give you a little boost when you need it, and that is very important. This is the only kind of toy I'm gonna put in here because I do feel like newborn favorites, toys aren't really a thing for newborns at this point. However, I will say these black and white animal chimes, they come with like an orange clip. I'm gonna have to repurchase these. This is the only one I could find, and I feel like that's because it slipped through the net. I think the others have gone to charity shops or have been covered in slobber and they've been thrown away. These like baby chimes, I ordered on Amazon, and I was like, oh, do you know what? Like, maybe she'll like it, it's black and white. Ottie loved them. Again, this is what I always advise my friends to get for their newborns. These 4 wind chimes. They just love them. I would clip them to the like play gym, or clip them in the car or to a pram, or just hold them above Ottie, and she just loved them. This was like the first thing she like reached out to hit. Trust me, a big hit with the newborns. This is another big thing that I just managed to like find upstairs. This bath seat for newborns was my absolute favorite. This is an Angel Care newborn, I want to say, bath seat. We would fill up the bath with like, I mean, barely any water, and pop this in and then lay her in it, pop a little flannel on top. It was amazing. I loved it. She loved it. She still loves bath time. I love that they're like lying down in it, and I am using that again. I'm gonna use that again. And the last thing, which honestly I just think saved Alfie and I, in all honesty, and we still say to this day it was one of the best things we did pre having Ottie, and then again post having Ottie, which was a consultation with Anna at Sleeping Bunnies. So Anna is basically like the baby sleep angel. She runs this business, Sleeping Bunnies, and her and a whole host of amazing women are able to mostly give you so much information and advice around baby sleep. And if I'm honest, it's not something Alfie and I really thought about too much. You hear so much about hypnobirthing and like all these things and antenatal classes and things that you need to learn before your baby arrives. But baby sleep just wasn't something that was really on our radar. I think we just thought, well, babies don't really sleep, or maybe they do, or maybe they don't. But we did a consultation with Anna before we had Ottie, and we came away from that consultation and we were like, oh my God, there is just so much more to this than we realized. And I feel like I've just done like a lesson, and that like my brain has been filled with so much amazing information that I feel so prepared for this baby, and like I am so ready to take this on. And we also worked with Anna once Ottie was here, and she was at that sort of like 3-month mark where it's like, oh, we can start implementing a bit of a routine here. Basically, Anna, and I've said this before, she was like the third parent. And I genuinely put Ottie being an amazing sleeper and napper down to her and just the advice that she would give us. She will very much tailor how you want to do it with your child, which is very, very important, obviously, and what everybody is comfortable with. I recommend Anna to everyone I know, and they also do workshops. So if you would rather just like join like a group Zoom, you don't have to go on camera or anything. You can also join a workshop. She does like a newborn workshop, then I think she does the 4 to 3 to something month. I'm gonna leave the website down below, you can go and check it out. But I've also done one of those. I feel like Ottie got to about, when did she get, maybe it was like when she turned 1. I wanted to do the like toddler sleep workshop, so I joined one of those and learned all about like toddler sleep. It's just very interesting, and Anna is very knowledgeable and also just so lovely and amazing and kind and generous, and I don't know where we would be with Otti's sleep if we did not take Anna's advice. So yeah, if there's one thing I would say that Alfie and I really took a lot from, is learning about newborn sleep with Anna, and then also working with Anna to get Ottie into a really good sleep routine. Obviously that is personal preference. Some people's babies might sleep through the night from like 6 weeks, but Ottie was just not one of those babies. I'm gonna wrap this up now because I feel like otherwise I will be talking for a very, very long time. But I hope you found this useful, and let me know if any of these things were also favorites in your household, or maybe there's something here that you've never seen before that you might go and check out. Who knows? I'm looking forward to dusting them off, sterilizing them in my old sterilizer and redoing this all again. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I will see you again tomorrow.